Hello, welcome to Pop Culture Clash. I'm Marcus Beer and I'm back. Been off the last couple of weeks, but then we sent Google Boy away for a couple of weeks, so he's gone. So I'm back and filling the void, his void. Ooh, that sounds rude.
That's really, yeah, that could be disturbing.
Joined this week, as always, by John Santo.
Greetings, how's it going?
And Miss Snowpiercer herself, Elise Williams.
Hi. Pierce it. That's my catchphrase thing. I go, pierce it. And all the fans, they all rally around it. You know, Marcus.
And
you know how it is.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Let's talk. First of all, let's talk DC.
Yeah.
The Batfleck situation this week. Benny Boy came out and he's been talking to people about the reaction. I actually saw his interview on Jimmy Fallon, which was actually fortuitous because I never watched Jimmy Fallon. He really winds me up.
Oh, did you just coincidentally?
It was just coincidentally the TV was on and I came into the bedroom and there it was that he was going to talk about it. So yeah, I got to say, he seems to be handling it very well. The thing that cracked me up, and I know John, this cracked you up too.
Oh yeah, that was fantastic.
Is the package that they gave to him beforehand with all the negative announcements for other superhero people.
Apparently now, standard operating procedure for all studios when it comes to comic book movies is to give them a package, is to give the actor a package of past people who have played superheroes and all the bad press they received before the film was made.
Well, you remember the Heath Ledger outcry.
The Heath Ledger outcry was huge. Yeah, there's always been, I think Ryan Reynolds caught a lot of shit for Green Lantern, probably deserved it. It seems like every actor who gets cast in something, people cry foul. So but it's great that that the studios now have just made it, here you go. This is what to expect. Prep for it. And Affleck's a really affable guy. He's fun. He's exciting. He's cool. So
he's got a good sense of humor about it at this point.
By this point, you have to. Yeah. Especially in his shape. I mean, he.
But I think this is just part of a bigger discussion that people online really need to engage their brain.
Yeah.
And I've made stupid Twitter comments in the past, but I mean, the death threats, the rape threats that happen, and all that stuff. It just needs to stop.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think one of the things that always kind of blows me away is the change.org petitions.
Oh.
It's like, hey, let's take something that could actually be useful, and let's completely, do gratuitous, boring bullshit with it.
Yeah.
And that's just, fucking ridiculous.
And the longer I've had to think about it, the more I'm thinking Affleck will actually bring something very interesting to this Bruce Wayne and this Batman.
It's highly possible, yeah.
And as I said when we first discussed it, and I think I tweeted this out, I'm more worried about Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping he brings it, and perhaps has, there is, somebody in there to help him tighten up the script, because if this one doesn't hit the heights, then a lot of people will be very pissed. But look, I think it's, Affleck is Batman. He's the new Batman. He's been respectful to Chris Nolan. He's been respectful to Chris Bale. So let's just move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's...
.org.
I think this is a long time in the coming, because I know there was discussion in 2012 when Justice League was being broached, and then he was considered for directing the Justice League as well as potentially being Batman then. So I don't think this is a very spontaneous let's just make him Batman.
There's a huge outcry against him directing Justice League, and then he goes and directs Argo and The Town.
Well, the guy's a brilliant filmmaker. I mean, it's like Gone Baby Gone, his first outing up. He was on it. The guy knows how to make a movie and can really put a story together.
We have to forget Gigli, and we have to forget Jersey Girl.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Jersey Girl's
not horrible. It's cute enough.
It's not fantastic, but it's cute.
Reindeer Games.
Okay, that's funny actually. Reindeer Games came up the other day because of Grand Theft Auto, because of there's the scene with the Christmas hats. I said, hey, it's like Reindeer Games, and then it made me go want to watch that movie again.
And then you did?
No, actually, I haven't. It's a really tough film to watch. Okay,
it is.
I admit it. Yeah, it's
really
rough.
painful.
It's rough.
But while we're on a DC trip, this is one I wanted to talk about, and I wasn't in last week. This occurred a couple of weeks ago, and it's the outcry with Batgirl and her fiance. It's Maggie Sawyer, isn't it?
Maggie Sawyer and Kate. What's Batgirl's name? Kate Kane.
Yeah,
that woman.
Yeah, Kane. Ironically, Kane's daughter, and they get engaged, and DC won't allow them to marry. They won't allow the characters to marry, and it led to the writing team resigning, walking off, and it's led to huge, accusations of misogyny and homophobia and lots of other things.
Are they allowed to date?
Well, they
in the
are
comics?
dating.
So they're dating in the comics.
dating.
There's an open lesbian relationship taking place.
Yes,
but they won't allow them to marry.
They won't allow them to marry, and people are just like, "Oh, this is terrible," and blah blah blah.
That's weird.
I would.
You've already jumped. There's no point in being coy anymore by this point.
I don't think it's a case of them being coy. I actually look, when I first saw the story, I was pissed off too. I thought, this isn't very fair. But then DC said, we can't have our characters happy.
Especially
that's a good point.
The Bat family.
Yeah.
And I think like the next progression with like her storyline is tie her more into the Batman universe. And I guess if you do that even more so, they don't want her. Like, you cannot exist in that universe.
And if they get married,
family
somebody's got to die.
Exactly. I mean, so do you want Maggie Sawyer dead?
Right.
I mean, that would be the natural progression. So I can see where DC are coming from on that.
Yeah.
And I can respect it. What I don't respect, however, is the talent call out that they did a couple of weeks ago, where they were asking for submissions from potential new artists. And the thing they said was do a picture of Harley Quinn naked contemplating suicide.
It's like that's just so unnecessary.
That's so much farther than draw the turtle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that to me is just that's just over the top and stupid. I mean, It's like, because
that was DC. That was like
an official DC talent competition.
Wow.
And I think that's just a whole level of stupidity in that they're opening themselves. They're thinking, maybe it was, oh, look, we'll have some controversy and this will be awesome. I was like, no, really. I mean, do you not follow what goes on everywhere else right now?
That's messed up.
I mean, it would have been better if they'd have said, draw Batman taking a crap.
Yeah.
Because people would have been less offended because
that and the contour and the shape and the shading of the crap would be pretty important, so you could really get the eye for what it is.
Well, that's the other thing. He's got X-ray vision, so can he see through himself when he's having a crap?
Batman?
Yeah.
Batman doesn't have X-ray vision.
Superman, sorry.
Oh, you want Superman now?
Maybe Superman watching Batman taking a crap
through a wall.
Through a wall.
He's just.
Yeah.
But I bring it up because, like I said, the first thing
that exists in some slash fiction comic out there.
With the Batgirl thing,
Santos fan fiction. His Batman fecal fan fiction.
John.santos at GameTrailers.
Yeah. .uk.
JP.
Yeah.
Bat poop.
So I think the initial Batwoman stuff, I can see the point. This one is just stupid. It just lacks forethought.
Wow. I get the opposing sides on the Batwoman thing. It's probably just a matter of it's been handled terribly, like PR wise and the whole obviously.
DC, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. I thought that was I didn't realize it was officially DC that sent that thing out. I thought it was something else. I just saw the headline.
Yeah.
For Harley
Holy cow, for Harley Quinn. Yeah. Yeah. That's
Harley Quinn taking a poop. Maybe that. Do you think that
not,
would still be controversial?
Now I have a question. If it was naked but not contemplating suicide.
Again, I mean, they just opened themselves to this huge case of of sexism. Oh, naked, attractive woman, and look, these are comic books, and let's face it, the guys have.
There's no sexism in comic books.
But there are. I mean, this is the thing. All the women are rocking the huge cleavage. I mean, Power Woman, anybody?
Yeah.
I mean, there's the
not power for nothing.
Well, there's the Kingdom Come book,
right.
Where they have this planet superhero,
right.
And somebody says, one of the waiters who's dressed up is like, we have the Power Woman chicken sandwich. The cut is breast.
Hey-o.
And it's like, it is that kind of juvenile. But again, the guys are incredibly ripped and form-fitting and bulges, and and look, it is comics, it is fantasy. But there's also having a little bit of a clue about how to handle.
Well,
things.
also, I mean, comic books have a lot of morality tales to them and stuff like that, and actually to go about that route. But the Batwoman controversy thing, I will buy. I get why they don't want to get her married. Although they got and then she died. Never mind.
I mean, Green Lantern, they did it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't like Green Lantern.
I don't really.
That's
care
the other
for
thing.
Green
If a
Lantern,
superhero does get happy, does he get do they get neutered? Do they get content?
And that's the Marvel.
And
that is the Marvel universe.
And it opens again. You look at Spider-Man.
Right.
He wears the mask to protect others, as does Batman.
Sure.
The mask is there to protect everybody else. But what happens when Joker finds out? That so and so is Batgirl. Bang, she's next thing you know, she's in a wheelchair, and you got the Killing Joke, which is one of the best comic book novels of all time.
Right. So getting them married could lead to something bigger and better.
Or it could lead to much more charges of homophobia because you've killed off an openly lesbian character.
God, why can't you just kill a lesbian these days? I mean, come on, guys. Sorry.
Batpoop.net.
Super poop. Look, I mean,
No, I get it. It makes for it's a bummer. I mean,
it's a tough world where everybody's got an opinion and everybody's on social media and everybody can get the wrong end of the stick. Moving on to Marvel and movie news, and this one I was surprised this happened. I'm kind of glad though, because my most anticipated fall film, Thor,
is Thor.
The Dark World.
Yeah.
And apparently Joss Whedon's been having a little fiddle with it because they had some problems. Yeah,
they flew him in, right?
Yeah, they flew him
literally flew
him
in
into England. They airlifted him into England for a quick little rewrite. I guess they've gone back to do some reshoots. Reshooting is very standard these days on most movies, especially giant, huge, big budget special effects films. They don't know what's exactly going to work and what isn't at times. So they went back to do their reshoots. The filmmaker was not happy with a couple of the scenes. So Whedon, who is now the Marvel guy for the company, apparently was airlifted in to do some quick doctoring.
I have vision of a Jurassic Park style metal crate being lowered into somewhere in London. It's like boom,
and then one guy has to go up and just lift the latch and then run away.
And then Whedon just walks out with a pencil.
Jossasaurus Rex.
Yeah.
Hey guys, how's it going? Oh yeah, my pencil, and write some stuff down.
Yeah, I think we've talked before about how Joss Whedon has essentially become the caretaker for this entire franchise, and him, not necessarily puppeteering, but advising on everything. It makes sense.
Sure, yeah,
it does.
To keep a coherency to it all.
Isn't that exactly what what's his face is supposed to be doing over at
Chris Nolan?
Chris Nolan at DC.
Yeah. Nolan is like the DC version of that.
And actually, I mean, I have more faith in Whedon, and no disrespect to Nolan, but Whedon has always been invested in comic books and cartoons, and that that's this side of the fence, our side of the fence, if you will. Whereas Nolan is an incredibly smart, intelligent filmmaker who wants to make really interesting crime films and so on, and that has worked.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm glad Joss is fiddling. I like Joss fiddling away. He's he can fiddle.
No, it's
end of the week.
I'll be really fascinated to see how many Joss jokes we can pick out, like which scenes will be. Okay, that was one of his. Yeah, that's his gag.
All right. Next thing on the schedule.
Oh God, it's always Disney.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, and this one I really
it's because they run everything.
At least I'm going to hand this one off to you.
I mean, it's interesting news worth noting. Though we do talk about Disney a lot, so I don't know that we should dwell on it.
It's because they own everything. They
do. I mean, that's the reality
of
the.
They're running most of pop culture now,
and
in
the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
But they're restructuring their release schedule for the next 3 years. Pixar is actually. I'm sorry. So essentially, what's happening is The Good Dinosaur, that was supposed to come out.
Next year.
It was pushed back to. Finding Dory was pushed back to 2016. The Good Dinosaur has been delayed. And Maleficent with Angelina Jolie is stepping into its spot.
So a Disney film is taking over for two Pixar films.
Essentially,
for a Pixar film.
So. Is it ironic or worrying that the only one I knew of was Finding Dory? The other two I really just didn't hit my radar.
I guess D23 was the most press they got, but
The Good Dinosaur they've been kind of touting for a while. There's only been like that one piece of art that's been floating around. It's not even like a CG piece. It's just a little hand drawing of the dinosaur with the shadow and the little kid that he's hanging out with and stuff like that.
They want to rework The Good Dinosaur a bit. They're further into development on it than they are on Finding Dory, so it makes sense to push Finding Dory back the furthest and then proceed that with The Good Dinosaur.
Right.
But it's just we won't have any Pixar then, I guess, until 2015.
I hate to say it, I kind of think that's a good thing. I think they need to take an extra year and regroup and figure out what makes them good again, because they've been every year for the past 3 years, 4 years. They're you can kind of
Woody Allen
see the returns. Yeah, diminishing returns from them for the past few years. So
after Brave,
fingers crossed that everything goes better.
I'm now craving sushi again.
Always with the sushi, shusha.
Yeah.
All right. Also with the Pixar, what else is Pixar putting out this
But
week?
I guess a new forefront for them. They're doing their first television release with Toy Story of Terror trailer. Or sorry, Toy Story of Terror. They've released a trailer for, which is their Halloween special.
I would watch something called Toy Story of the Terror trailer.
Yeah.
Terror Trailer Rex,
The Terror trailer.
directed by Joss Whedon.
Every time you see that Terror trailer coming down the road, you better run, son.
Yeah, but
I said run.
I love a good Halloween special, so
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited.
What was it like the last one? Because I don't watch enough Halloween television anymore to kind of.
Oh, I don't know.
figure
I
out.
make sure to watch.
NBC did a remake of the Monsters last year.
That's right.
Right,
That was,
'cause that was-
actually
did
didn't
well.
It didn't suck.
That was supposed to be a TV series, and they were
It
sitting on it
didn't
actually
suck.
for a while. And then
It did, but it didn't suck.
right.
Yeah.
All right. Good
Yeah.
for Munsters.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Pixar's gonna have
But-
its first television.
Yeah, and
special.
it's not. It doesn't look like they're cutting any corners. The entire cast is there.
Really, they got
yeah.
Tom Hanks,
Tom Hanks,
Tim Allen.
Tim
I mean, he's got to be
Allen,
booked on
Joan
everything, right?
Cusack. Yeah. Oh,
Joan
I
Cusack.
think Tim Allen. He rushed to that call.
Yeah.
He was. He was in the bathroom.
He's got a Google alert set
Dropped
for
out.
anytime Toy
Yeah.
Story news is broken.
He checks his Google Plus.
Yeah.
And he's.
We're so cruel on here.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, TA.
You know.
I could still go for a Galaxy Quest 2.
Oh, I would love a Galaxy Quest 2. That would be fantastic.
I could actually rock a Galaxy Quest sequel.
Completely. Yeah, I don't actually know why they never made a Galaxy Quest sequel, other than
Yeah.
the fact that none of us can say Galaxy today. But yeah, it's because that was a blast of a movie. I don't know how well it did, but I mean, video-wise, it had to have been huge. I would hope, and people still talk about it.
Hey, and Sigourney Weaver,
Yeah.
she's just, that woman is just hot in whatever she does.
Yeah, you got the Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell, who
you got
plays douche better than anybody else.
Alan Rickman, who's just showing up in stuff now and then. He was just in the CBGB movie, which was not very good.
Why don't we have a guy?
Why don't we have a Galaxy Quest 2?
What the hell?
That was was that DreamWorks or
That was DreamWorks.
It was DreamWorks because it was a
Yeah.
Spielberg produced piece, huh?
Yeah.
Galaxy Quest 2. Get on that.
Mm-hmm.
Get on Galaxy Quest 2.
Yeah.
I don't know what's
If
over
you
there.
haven't watched Galaxy Quest 1, watch Galaxy Quest.
Yeah,
It's fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
Tim Allen. You know, if you say his name 5 times in the mirror, he'll appear behind you and show up and play in your movie.
And work for scale.
Yeah.
You just hear him behind you. And he disappears.
We're cruel to Tim Allen.
That's okay.
He's not.
I
funny.
hope he becomes a
He's
running
just
joke
not.
on this show.
Tim Allen.
Well,
He'll be our first real guest.
Yeah.
So there you go. How about this for
That would be fucked up.
how about this for cosmic injustice? 1 Galaxy Quest, 4 Santa Clauses.
Yeah, you're right. That is messed up. Although 2 of them did go straight to DVD, so I guess that's okay. But no, it doesn't matter. More than 1 Santa Claus. The Santa Claus.
Santa Claus 1 was actually kind of funny.
Was it?
Then there
couldn't-
was
yeah.
there was the Santa Claus 2, the Mrs. Claus.
Okay.
Then there was the Santa Claus 3.
And that's the one with Martin Short, right? With
And then seriously, I mean, as soon as you put Martin Short
in
anything,
something, yeah, you know you're fucked.
you're done.
Yeah.
I mean, no
Poor
disrespect
guy.
to Martin Short, who during
No.
the 80s, you know, Three Amigos,
Yeah.
great movie.
Yeah.
But yes. All right, so somebody needs to fix that. Okay, Tim Allen, you need to. We will love you and support you forever, Tim Allen, if you do Galaxy Quest 2.
Tim Allen, if you're watching.
He's just crying right now
Yeah.
while sitting on his toilet.
On other Disney news, it's the Tim Allen of directing, of producing rather.
Yeah, yeah. Jerry Bruckheimer. Jerry Bruckheimer, who
Santo, sorry, I
Yeah,
say
go ahead.
Santo's eyes lit up.
I know.
At
Well,
the prospect of talking about Jerry Bruckheimer.
only because this news is really fascinating because we're reaching like the end of an era
Mm-hmm.
in a way. Jerry Bruckheimer and his late partner now Don Simpson had produced Top Gun and I was trying to think of one of the other ones they did.
Pirates.
Nope, no. Simpson was.
Oh no,
dead by
Simpson
that point, yeah.
Bruckheimer. Okay.
Yeah, Simpson
so
Bruckheimer.
Beverly Hills Cop.
Beverly Hills Cop, right? Top Gun.
The Days of Thunder. Basically,
Yeah,
anything
Days
with
of Thunder, right.
Anything with Cruise during
Cruise,
the
yeah.
80s.
Yeah. And then I think even Beverly Hills Cop 2, other stuff like that. But anyways, they struck this deal with Disney, and it was an incredibly long-term deal that has been very successful up until recently, where they put out films. Well, Simpson passed away, and then Bruckheimer continued on, but they put out films like The Rock and the Bad Boys movies, Armageddon,
Con Air.
Con Air. Yeah, Con Air's a blast, actually. The Con Air's a lot of fun. And they're these big bombastic action films. Everybody's seen them. Everybody knows them. And then Bruckheimer went on to produce the very successful Pirates movies. You know, all of these films were done under the Disney banner, whether it be Touchstone or Hollywood Studios or all of those. You know, all of them produced through Disney. Bruckheimer, unfortunately, has not had a lot of success with them recently because he produced The Lone Ranger, which was a giant bomb, and he's had a couple other bombs over the past few years, even though
Prince of Persia.
Prince of Persia, yeah, Prince of Persia did not do very well. Actually, I think it did better than expected. Well, than I expected, but it still didn't do that well.
It did well. It did well overseas.
And the guinea pig, the animated guinea pig movie. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh,
G-Force.
yeah.
Oh my God, Chris knows G-Force.
Yeah,
he's got it on Blu-ray right now. But yeah, so his foray into kids movies didn't do too hot. And so Bruckheimer now is on very shaky ground. Disney has shifted their ideas, and because of Marvel and Pixar, and now with the Star Wars universe, all of these things being at their fingertips, they aren't really interested anymore in kind of these things that aren't already franchised out. That's actually one of the things that happened with John Carter of Mars. They pretty much just kind of, they were in negotiations with Lucas at the time that John Carter of Mars was in post, and they just kind of meh and dumped it, and there was no work done on it. So Bruckheimer's going in this week, next week, to discuss his place with Disney. And after close to 25 years, Bruckheimer may very well be at Disney no more, and have to move on to find some other place to shill his wares, fortunately or unfortunately for him.
I mean, what do you think fundamentally is the reason for his decline? Do you think it's like just the age of Michael Bay, or I don't even know?
He created Bay. Is the weird
Yeah.
thing?
Bay is his directing spawn.
Spawn, yeah. He produced Bay from his masculinity putting forth onto the planet. But I don't know. I mean, Bruckheimer's he's still very successful in television because he's got The Amazing Race is his.
Yeah.
And he's got a few other reality shows, and he's got a couple that are even coming out this fall. So he's not, unemployable, or he's not. But
He's in no danger of going broke.
Oh no, never. He couldn't. But I don't know. I think he hasn't adapted to the superhero age. They are milking. I think they were really hoping for something with the Lone Ranger as far as a franchise went. They were hoping for another Pirates. Pirates 4 sucked. I mean, that's
No, it was horrible.
Pirates 4 was.
Do you think Pirates 5 will be better?
I don't. This is my curiosity. I don't know if there will be a Pirates 5.
I think it's going to be a crossover with the Avengers.
See, and that's. I mean, I could see something like that going.
They're just
going to
make a Disney Infinity movie. That's what it is. For all of you who don't don't play video games, the Disney Infinity console is the next Jerry Bruckheimer movie adaptation.
Yeah.
Because they all own all this stuff. We'll have Tron and Johnny Depp and Monsters Inc. all in the same game.
I'm curious if Disney ever went to him and said, "Hey, how do you feel about?" Oh, no, because Marvel Feig would get in there, and never mind. No, so yeah, Bruckheimer's era may be kind of coming to an odd end in movies.
And let's have a minute's silence for that.
Yeah.
On
All
that.
right.
And we're actually take this opportunity to say, bon voyage, Jerry Bruckheimer. We'll see.
Fingers crossed. Good luck. Hope everything goes well for
Hey,
you.
but look, I mean, Top Gun. I mean, the most homoerotic movie ever.
Yeah.
Well, Top Gun 2 is in.
There's talk about that before Tony Scott decided to try to fly, unfortunately. And that's a shame. I'm sorry. I love Tony Scott. Don't get me wrong. I'm an unabashed Tony Scott fan.
But R. Kelly songs will do that to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, Top Gun came out in 3D.
Yes, it did. Yeah.
Bombed.
Yeah. Wizard of Oz actually is opening in 3D this weekend.
What do we call it now, Santo?
What was OOs? What do we call it? Oh no, sorry. What is it called? The prequel to
prequel to the Wizard of Oz.
The Wizard of Oz. Yeah. No,
prequel
the prequel to the whatever the James Franco.
No, it's
crap
the
was.
sequel to Oz the Great and Powerful.
It is
the prequel
to the Great and Powerful. Yeah.
No, it'd have to
it's
be
the
the
sequel.
sequel.
It is
It'd have to be the
Good lord.
I'm gone for 2 weeks, and all of a sudden they're rewriting cinematic history. And yes,
right.
that James Franco,
Oz
Oz
the Great and Powerful
was horrible.
It was also not good.
Yeah, I watched that. I watched that on the plane, and actually, you know what? We're going to take a break because we need to take our break.
Okay, let's take a break then.
We're going to take a break.
We'll be back.